And we begin with new developments tonight in the Nashville bombing investigation. Federal agents searched the home of a possible person of interest in the case, roughly 24 hours after the explosion rocked the city's downtown area.
Now, right now, investigators say the city is safe as they follow more than 500 leads in the case. New tonight, we just learned the Nashville Convention Corporation raised its reward for information to $37,000, bringing the total to more than $300,000. Right now, a citywide curfew is still in effect, and parts of downtown are still blocked off following the explosion. Witnesses say they could feel the ground shake from miles away.
News Nation crews were there today as agents combed through the home just about 15 minutes south of downtown Nashville. A source telling the Associated Press that someone linked to the property is considered a possible person of interest. Over the course of a few hours, federal agents carried out several items from the home. Nashville police say the explosion damaged at least 40 buildings in the downtown area. The security video shows windows being blown out as the RV explodes. And we're getting a closer look at some of the damage to nearby apartment buildings. 3 people were hurt in the blast. They are all expected to be okay. Also tonight, we're learning more about the heroic actions of 6 Nashville police officers who are credited with saving lives. They responded to calls of shots fired before the bombing, and that's when they heard a recording that issued a warning about the explosion. This morning, a U.S. District Attorney commended them for their courage to rush in and evacuate the area right away.
Metro Nashville police officers just a number of blocks north of here didn't run away from danger, literally ran to danger. Vehicle that was announcing that it was going to blow up, and Metro Nashville police officers, instead of heading in the other direction, headed towards that.
Tonight, officials confirmed they did find human remains at the scene of the blast. They're promising to leave no stone unturned as they work to determine a motive. News Nation has crews covering this story from all angles. Reporter Chelsea Bimfor is following the FBI and ATF searches just outside downtown Nashville. But first, we check in live with News Nation correspondent Tom Negovin. Tom.
And you know, Aaron, they are calling this a miracle, a minor miracle, that only 3 people were injured as a result of this explosion. Investigators, though, at the scene here, not quite ready to talk about those reports of a possible person of interest, even as they converge on that home you mentioned, about 10 miles southeast of here. The focus of the investigation right now, this secondary scene in Antioch, Tennessee. The FBI won't talk about what they're looking for here or comment yet on who they might be interested in.
We have over 500 investigative leads, and we're following up on every one of those, so there are a number of individuals that we're looking at.
The explosion rocked downtown Nashville around dawn Christmas Day. The device concealed in an old white RV, detonating near an AT&T transmission building on the city's busy 2nd Avenue, home to a row of bars and restaurants. The RV eerily playing a recorded message, counting down to the impending blast. Tennessee's governor today appealing for federal help he says will be needed to rebuild, calling the damage shocking, saying it's a miracle no one was killed. 3 people suffered just minor injuries, but there's still no clarity on human remains reported to have been found at the scene.
This is several hundred agents. This is our national best stepping forward to help us solve this crime.
The FBI and ATF are leading the investigation. The FBI with 250 agents and analysts focused solely on this case, on finding out who would do this and why.
The team that's behind me and the folks that they represent are doing everything we can to find out what happened here, to get the answers that you deserve, and to make sure that we're all safe.
Now, as you may recall, there was a lot of concern here initially about the possibility of a secondary explosive device. The FBI and ATF working hard to reassure people today that they did a thorough sweep of this entire area of downtown Nashville. Found nothing. Still, obviously, a lot of questions here. A curfew in effect around the crime scene. It began yesterday afternoon. It's in effect until at least mid-afternoon tomorrow. Live in Nashville, Tom Negovin, News Nation.